body cam rolling. So just first off, just going to introduce myself. My name is Sergeant John Campbell. To my right is Lieutenant Henry Walker. Um, what is your name, sir?
I am a Louis Picasso.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, nice to meet you. First thing, I just want to say thank you for choosing our department. You know, we really appreciate getting your interviews, stuff like that. I love seeing everybody having the interest in wanting to join this great department here in the Blaine County. So I'm going to go ahead and start some of these questions. So, like I said, just answer your best ability, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. So I was reading over your application a little bit, and I kind of seen you did have some past experience. Can you kind of touch up on that a little bit for me? Just kind of give me just a quick little background story on yourself, things that you've been involved with, and some of your interest in law enforcement.
Yeah, so I first started in a city that was quite bigger, upwards of I want to say in the maybe like 20,000 civilians, and I started out as a deputy in BCSO. That's pretty much all I've ever wanted to be was BCSO. And I started as a deputy, and I worked my way up eventually until I became a supervisor. I became a corporal in a FTA there. And then I did leave that place because of like issues going on with the civilians. They weren't. It was just like how things get. There's like RDM, VDM. It's just like a lot in that type of city. So I ended up leaving that. And then for a short time, I was helping one of my buddies start up his server or start up his city. So I helped him make training documents and some just standard SOPs for him. And then for a short time, was like a stand-in high command. No, I wasn't directly in charge, but I was just in the high command rank. I believe I was the O2 or O3. I forget what it was. And I just helped make sure everything went smooth to start off. And then I just joined some other larger cities as a deputy just to get a feel for different things. And then I was in another decently large city. It had some active members. There wasn't a lot of people in the emails, maybe like 500, but I ended up becoming a captain in there, helping run the heat unit. And now pretty much have just found myself here from one of my buddies.
Awesome. Is one of your buddies? Is he law enforcement at all?
Yes, his name is I believe Alex Bucket. Would that be his name?
Yep. Yep. We all know
Yeah.
Alex Bucket. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So, do you have any medical conditions, or do you take any medications or anything that might impact your day-to-day basis on if you become a deputy or anything like that?
No, no, I do not.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and jump into personality questions, stuff like that. Just answer your best your ability. Just tell us it kind of in your own words about yourself, really. So just in your own words, explain to me what integrity means to you.
See, integrity is like I feel like just kind of like being. It's a lot of things in once, but the biggest thing for me is being honest with the values of the department. Like, if you want something to be your way, but the department values it another way, be honest and like you kind of gotta like support that, even though you might not like it, and even like having like a strong character for yourself and just like being like the best you can in every situation, even if you might not like it.
Yeah, yeah. I like to tell everybody treat it as doing the right thing when no one's around. That's my best explanation.
Yep.
What is your greatest weakness and your greatest strength?
Ooh, let me think about this one for a second. I would say my greatest weakness is sometimes I can be too friendly and I shouldn't be making like I'm making friends with people I shouldn't be making friends with. I mean, that can be seen as a greatest strength too because it can be used in useful ways, but I think that's my greatest weakness. My greatest strength, I would say, is the knowledge that I have from like my experience in the past. I definitely have a like decent amount of knowledge. I would say higher than some people that come through here. There's obviously people that have more than me, but I feel like I don't have definitely have the lowest amount of knowledge of people that walk through here.
Okay. If I were to, let's say, get a phone number of one of your friends and I asked them, who's Lewis? Describe him to me to the best of your knowledge. What kind of guy is he? What do you think they would say?
I think the main thing they would prioritize there is how like determined and hardworking I am. Like once I start something, I want to finish it. Like I won't just start something, leave it, come back to it a couple weeks later. I'll finish anything that I start as soon as I can. And I would think they see me as like a kind, humble, honest person in the city.
Okay, awesome. If you were hired today, and we're looking at ourselves in the future, let's say 6 months, where do you think you want to see yourself? Any specific rank, any divisions, anything like that?
Um, so 6 months. I don't know how the city works, but I hope to be maybe FTA by then, supervisor helping out, and I would like to be in maybe a subdivision. I don't know what the rules are here. Like, can you be in multiple subdivisions at once or just one?
You can be in multiple. Um,
I would probably like to be in heat because that's what I'm used to. But I also have been getting more invested. I've been more looking into criminal investigation type of things. So
okay.
maybe somewhere in that.
Yeah, the only requirement we have is you have to at least hold the rank of senior deputy, and then
All right.
from
Yeah,
there you
I
can
wasn't
put a
sure.
yeah, and then from there you can put a letter of interest into whatever department you want to put in for. So like, you got field training officer, you've got K9, SWAT, we've got Heat, um, CID, things like that, and you would just basically reach out to whichever officer is the lead of those divisions.
All
So
right. Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
All right.
All right. Let's say that, you know, your boat died and you ended up on a deserted island, okay? And we're gonna say that food and water, you got not and so much food and water, but you can only bring two items with you. What are those two items that you're probably gonna bring with you?
And I can't bring anything to get me off the island.
Um, I mean, you probably could, yeah. But
Hmm.
it's just any two items you think you would want to bring.
Let me think here. Well, I would probably. This is a hard one. There's a lot of things that I want to bring on the island. Hmm. I would probably bring some sort of defense mechanism just to keep me safe, like whether it's a knife or something,
Okay.
just to keep me safe. And then, well, I can make shelter, so I'll make a shelter there, and then I'll bring like a radio or something so I can try to maybe get a connection and communicate with people to come save me.
Okay. Awesome. Two good answers. I like it. Is there anything that motivates you?
I think looking into the future and seeing like where I can possibly be in the future, like how you were saying, I can put in my letter of intent. I think looking into that and just that motivates me to be as best as I can right now. So then when it comes to that time, I have the highest chance. I like know I performed to the best of my ability, and there's nothing that like I regret doing that I should have done more of.
Yeah, yeah, I like that answer. What kind of person are you? Are you a hands-on person, or do you think that you learn visually better?
I would say I'm definitely a hands-on person when it comes to learning new things.
Okay. Do you think that if you were visually getting some sort of training, so like if we, we have a academy handbook, do you think that it's still something that you could understand if you still read it compared to doing it?
Oh yeah, I could definitely understand it. Then I would
Okay.
have to like maybe find a time to like practice whatever things that could be practiced hands on to like just greater like enhance that ability or whatever it is that I learned.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, those are pretty much the standard questions, brother. I'm going to move on to the scenario questions. If you need me to repeat the question, just let me know, and just try to answer to the best of your ability. Okay. So the first question is going to be: while searching the vehicle with your partner before you impound it, you witness your partner pick up a $5 crisp bill and put it in her pocket. How would you handle this situation?
I would probably confront them, and then I would also, after I confront them, see what they do, and then I'll report that to an higher up person that could do something more of it. And if I did have my body cam rolling, I would send that body cam footage over to whoever it is that I'm reporting it to, so then they have the evidence. But I would just report it to somebody higher up, so then they can like be investigated more into, because maybe there's more instances of them doing that thing that they did.
Okay, awesome. You respond to a store robbery alarm. As you and your second unit are pulling up, a suspect inside starts opening fire at you. He then flees on foot, and you begin to chase him. However, you realize that the officer who responded with you has been shot and is bleeding out. What do you do at this point?
So I will prioritize the officer and call in for backup, reporting the location and like direction that he's heading with his description, because the officer is more important than the suspect. And I know that my fellow units will be able to get there quick enough, and with the information I gave, hopefully be able to find him, because he won't be able to run away too quick.
Okay. You have just
Uh,
initiated. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna add on that I mentioned that I will prioritize the officer. I will like do basic first aid, gunshot wound. I will put a tourniquet on him, and I will transport him to the hospital as well.
Okay, sweet. Awesome. All right, next question. You have just initiated a traffic stop for a vehicle that was spotted going 10 miles over the speed limit. When dispatch tells you that the vehicle is unregistered, you make contact with the driver and notice they are in tears. As you obtain their license, they tell you that the vehicle belonged to their father who just passed away. It is unregistered because it wasn't running until recently. What do you do in that situation?
So I feel like this could be a different answer for a lot of different officers depending on their personality. But for me, I would definitely give them not a verbal warning, but a written warning, just so that way there's nothing against them. It wasn't running for a while. It's not their fault. I mean, obviously it should have been registered, but they might have not realized that it wasn't registered just because it hasn't been functioning so long and nobody's driven it so long. And obviously it's a hard situation for anyone to be in. I put myself in their shoes and I would know what they would want. But obviously I gotta like let them know in some way, so that way they then do eventually go get it registered. And I'll give them a warning about the speed too, because 10 miles per hour, while it's not a lot, it's still speeding over the speed limit.
Okay. This will be the last scenario question. So you respond to a call for suspicious activity. As you arrive on scene, you see two individuals who appear to be passing out items to any individual that walks past them. When you go up to make contact with the suspects, they show you that they're just handing out baggies with lunches in them. What do you do from then on?
Um, so when you said I noticed that it was just bags of lunches, like we searched it and made sure.
Like you saw them hand something off, you walked up and they show you and said, "Hey, I'm just packing out, snacks, any sort of like snacks or whatever to individuals."
Um, so I would probably, maybe it's like a decoy, and I will go investigate what they handed out to the people, just to be sure that maybe it's something. Hopefully, it's not like drugs or anything. And then if it's not drugs and what they were handing out to the people, then I'll just leave it be. But if it is something like drugs, then they will definitely be detained, and they will be taken to jail for handing out drugs, and then they will be in question further.
Okay, awesome. That is the last scenario question. Just a couple bonus questions I want to ask you. This is realistically where we start to judge you. So try your best to answer correctly. I'm just saying. So the first question I'm going to ask you: if you could be any animal in the world, anything, what would you
Oh,
be and why?
probably a hawk or like a bald eagle. And this is because, I've always wanted to fly, and I feel like the power that they hold in the air is something that like no other animal has. Like just seeing them flying through the air, like everybody looks at them and like points up in the sky and they're like, a hawk, look at that thing.
Every time I ask
Wingspan,
that
six
question,
feet.
everybody gives me the same answer. Everybody likes to be birds. I don't know why.
You don't want to fly?
Nah, mine's gonna be a panda, brother. I like to eat.
They do live, a pretty nice life, sitting there eating their bamboo.
That is true. That is true. All right, I got one more question for you. All right, if you could only listen to one band, music magically goes away, but you have one more chance to listen to one song from one band. What is that band gonna be?
Oh. Hmm.
It's a toughie, isn't it?
Can I pull up a playlist real quick just to make sure that I have the song right?
Yeah.
Um. Hmm. Let's see. Probably. Wow, this is a really hard question. I never thought about this.
Do you have a favorite brand, a specific band that you like most?
Well, see, I like country music and mainly Zach Bryan. And I'll just say my favorite Zach Bryan song is probably "Burn, Burn, Burn," or I was gonna say it, "All Your Own" by Tyler Childers.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I'll take that as your answer. Since you like that Zach Bryan, is that what you said?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. Well, that's going to pretty much conclude the interview for us. Is there anything that you want to ask? Do you have any questions, concerns? The floor is yours. You can ask whatever you want.
I don't think I have anything. Is there like an average time it takes for results?
So I'm going to be completely honest with you. The results depends on the human resources department. We have
Uh-huh.
quite a few people in there, and we want to have time to make sure everybody can vote. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of the voting seems to take anywhere between 12 to 24 hours. We have some
All right.
people that are in different time zones, so sometimes later at night or like early in the mornings might be best for them. So as long as I can get the majority vote, hopefully within 24 hours, um, you'll probably be hearing back from me or another member of the HR team with an acceptance letter or a denial letter. Okay.
All right.
But
That's good to
right,
know.
yeah. But first off, I'm going to send the video to HR team. HR team will then watch the interview, and then they will make their comments and then do their voting, and then hopefully by then we can get you an answer. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. That's all I had.
Awesome. Well, it was nice meeting you, brother. If you have any questions after the interview, feel free to just shoot me a message or just anybody that's a supervisor on the team. Um, anything related to law enforcement whatsoever, just give us a holler. Okay.
All right. Thank you.